I start doing a few runs now with a bit of duration wound on. Change the duration and just unlock it. Move it through a bit. It's about it's 3.4 degrees per millimetre of movement, so that's about 10 millimetres there, I suppose. Doesn't matter much in here. Bring this back on. Notice now it still runs a lot slower, but it still runs very evenly. That 10 degrees is actually, that's about 34 degrees of late closing. It doesn't really affect much the way it runs, except it seems to run a bit more smoothly. But the valve noise and everything is unchanged again. Just runs like the standard one. Now we take it up to pretty much its maximum duration this time. Well, the maximum that it'll run at. Of course this is 10 degrees, but all the way up to 10 degrees, of course it just runs much the same. You notice even at 10 degrees that the pickup isn't quite as strong. So this is about, judging by eye, about 13 degrees. Because I've done this about 1,000 times. So this is 13 degrees, which is 13 times 3.4, which is about 44, 45 degrees, I suppose. And that's late closing. Just wind it up a bit. Now this is an important one to watch, because I open the throttle up. It's got very little torque there, and it's almost at idle just by LIVC. Have to put a bit more on it. This is about 13.5 millimetres, which is still about, I don't know, 45, 46 degrees, I suppose. I'll put the ignition on. That's a little bit too much. It won't run. That's about the limit to how much duration you can put on it. So we'll wind her off a bit. Quite probably. This is actually idling, controlled only by LIVC. So that's pretty much full throttle on now. And that strange induction sound, there's a lot of reverse flows coming out the intake. It's not quite idle, but it's getting it. When you finally try to make it idle, you've got to adjust it down to like fractions of a millimetre, in the same way that you'd have to adjust like a throttle plate. Just adjust it down to fractions of a millimetre. So that was full throttle then. So the idle is actually controlled by the late inlet valve closing.